Hi, and welcome to all new and returning viewers to the Herwoodian Crafter podcast. I'm Jutta, I'm coming to you from Tampere, Finland, and this is my podcast about knitting, crocheting, sewing, dyeing, and all kinds of crafting. You can find me on Ravelry as J Kurkkari and also on Instagram as Herwoodian Crafter. That's the Instagram account from my podcast, and then I have a private account as J Kurkkari. But unless I have some personal contact with you, either online or face to face, then I won't be accepting. If I don't know who you are, if I have no idea who you are, I won't be accepting you as a follower on that account. But you're more than welcome to follow me on the Herwoodian Crafter account. Right off the bat, I have to say I've been feeling really low on energy for the last few weeks. After the last podcast, I don't know why, but because of that, I feel like I haven't had that much progress on my projects, but I do have quite the mound of things to show you. So I guess I've gotten something done. But let's dive right into whips. I still have no finished objects. If you'll excuse me, life happens. Mostly I've been knitting on my breathing space. It has grown, but I was kind of hoping that I would have finished the body of the sweater already. It didn't happen, but still, I think quite a respectable amount done for now. This is where I was. Sorry if my hands look dirty, I will get to it later on. This is where I was last time I showed this to you, and I've knitted all of this up, so I would say not too shabby. To new viewers, this is a pattern by Veera Välimäki. I'm doing this on, the white yarn is Filkkovana Aruetta, commercial yarn, and the stripe contrast color is Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn on the colorway Ghost. I really like it, and hopefully by the next time I do a podcast, I'll be at least finished with the main body. Maybe even if I'm very good, I might have a good amount done on a sleeve. I'm using Knit Pro Zings. These are 3.5 millimeter needles. Not much more to say on that at the moment. Then I've been crocheting on this eco bag that I mentioned last time. This is my own pattern. One I'm thinking about publishing on Ravelry. So this is done on Shahshimar. I still don't know how to pronounce that name. Shahimar Katania. I have a tag here of another color. This is it. And yeah, I think I was about maybe halfway done with the purple section last time I podcasted, so not too bad. No, it wasn't halfway done. I was almost done with the purple, I think. But still, not a huge amount, not a bad amount, not really small amount. So I guess it's okay. And the hook I'm using is a 3.5 millimeter needle. The blue section is crochet linen stitch, and then there's just a kind of average whole lacy section. Then the last thing I've picked up at all during the last 2 weeks is the sock. Basically only maybe 1 or 2 rows, and then I turned the heel. I tried linen stitch on this one, and I really like how that looks. There's an issue with the yarn I'm using. This is my own dye. I dyed this myself, and I noticed some not so good things about those, but I will get back to it once I'm actually, since I have nothing else to talk about with whips, and obviously no FOs, I might as well talk about it now. But I noticed that basically somehow, I'm not sure if the dye is fading, or if it's possible that the yarn dye is kind of moving in the yarn. I don't know, but basically if I don't remember completely incorrectly, this was kind of closer to this color when I had just dyed it, and then this has, I think it was about a month ago that I dyed this, and I noticed that it's a completely different color on the other side. I'm not sure if this is sun exposure. It hasn't been sitting out in the sun that much, I think, as far as I can remember, but this happens also on other yarns. Basically this part, it is really quite light, and then on the other side it's much more of the bright yellow than it used to be. I don't know what's up with that. This was my first batch dyeing ever, so it might be just about that, but I'll have to see what happens with that. This is the one that I dyed with coffee. There's nothing wrong with that, so I'm not sure if it's about the dye or how I dyed the yarn or what is going on with that, but I'll have to see what happens with the other yarn I've been dyeing, so if that's something that I did wrong the first time around, or I don't know. I'm not happy about it, but there you go. Actually, the effect isn't bad on the heel. I'm not sure if I can show that to you very well. It kind of looks just a bit variegated, but it will be variegated even if the yarn stays more even. Even if whatever the reason is for this happening, there is still going to be, it won't be an even color, completely even color, even without that. And since I've been wanting to start my Etsy shop, and if I'm going to sell my hand-dyed yarn there, this is unacceptable. I will not sell yarn that does this, because if I bought yarn and this would happen within a month, but especially within a month, I wouldn't be happy, and I would be contacting the person selling them and telling them that it's a problem. I wouldn't be buying from them again, so no, I won't be selling them. I will have to see what happens with the other yarn. Then I have been at the dye pots more. Okay, these were my attempt at doing some Hufflepuff type of yarn. I had an idea of actually doing kind of a house colors yarns, which is nothing new, I know, but just to see what I could do with it. This didn't turn out great. I'm not happy with this, and for some reason, for example, this is more to my liking. I'm not happy with this. I wouldn't buy it, but this reminds me of an ice cream I like. This reminds me of it's lemon and black licorice ice cream. It's not the salty kind. It's not salmiakki, which some people have heard, which divides people, especially foreign people, a lot. But it's black licorice, which is sweeter, which I like salmiakki and I like licorice, and it probably sounds perverse to people who don't eat black licorice, but I'm really not that happy with this. And now that I picked these up and I'm showing this to you, I can talk about the fingers. Another thing I've been struggling with, especially this week, with yellow and with my black dye that I have, is that they won't set. I've tried using vinegar before and after. I mean, I've been soaking the yarn before I put it in the dye pot in vinegar water, and then after I've done dyeing it, I dip them back into the vinegar water, and still I've used longer. I've had the yarn in the dye pot for longer, hoping that the heat would set it better. The one thing I might still try is having a little bit of a higher heat. I can afford to do that before the water, the dyeing solution boils. But basically, I wound up these two, and then these two, and this is the result. Another thing I will not have if I'm going to sell my yarn online. I will not yet sell yarn that messes up your fingers like this. Again, if I bought someone's yarn and I had this problem, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be super annoyed, but I wouldn't be happy and probably wouldn't go back. So I will have to see what I can do about this. Otherwise, so these two I wasn't happy with. I don't think they're really that appealing, but the ones I've been dyeing yesterday and the day before that, those turned out, I think, really nice. I think the colors are nice. Still not sure about, actually, since my finger was already blackened by the few of those, then I'm not sure how much the yellow one is bleeding at the moment. But I played around with kind of finding an orange shade I like, and because of that I made another gradient set, which I'm actually much more happy with these than I'm with the next set, but I think maybe the favorite one might be these two. They're really not coming out great. They're kind of washed out on camera, but I'm actually really happy with these. Some kind of corally one, and then kind of a good orange shade, and a few really warm yellows, and yeah, I like these. Then yesterday I dyed, so those were playing with green and red, and then yesterday I played with red and blue, trying to find a good purple, and I think I did. I didn't dye more than 4 of these because this last one started to be so blue that I thought that there wouldn't be much point, because the blue is, of course, it's so dominating that I felt like there was no point in doing and trying out bluer versions. It would have been, I think, quite blue, but otherwise I think this is a really lovely set. Again, really strange. Kind of they're not coming out like they are in my hand. I really like these two ones. This is a lot more red. It looks like washed out on camera, and then this is a bit warmer than it seems to be on my screen. These two look quite blue, but this is actually really purple still, and this is more on the blue side. So yeah, I'm quite happy with these ones as well. I feel like the orange, yellow, red batch was better, but these are still very lovely to me. And then I really like these colors too. These were with red and black and blue and black. But yeah, the black bleeding is really an issue, and I need to see what I can do about that. If there's anyone who's done this more than me and wants to share a few tips, I would love to hear it. I would be interested to know about the amount of time you leave the yarn in the dye pot. These were in the dye pot for an hour. If someone is screaming that that's way too short of a time, then please inform me because I have no idea. The instructions I've read haven't specified a time. They've only said that until the dye has been soaked up by the yarn, then it will be ready. And but yeah, I'm sometimes very impatient. If it takes more than an hour for the yarn to soak up the dye, I might not have the patience for it, and therefore would be thankful for someone saying that, yeah, you need to wait. It will get better, so I will know that it will be worth it. Yes, that's all I've been dyeing. Then I don't have anything ready with sewing, but I did find, I'm sure people who sew already know about this, but I found my way to sew over it, to the page, their page. I had a look at the patterns they have on sale, and oh my goodness, they were lovely. I've had a look at the page, the Tilly and the Buttons page, and I think I had a look at Darren Doe and maybe Sewaholic. I'm not sure about Sewaholic if I have looked at that one. But Sew Over It, oh goodness me, there was at least, I just, before I started recording, I took a look and counted how many patterns there were that I thought might look, I mean, I didn't even think about whether or not it would actually fit me or look good on me, but they were just so lovely that I wanted to make. I thought that I would probably want to make some, try it out at least once And then if it doesn't seem to suit me, then maybe not do another one. But oh goodness me, they were lovely, and I will report back if I get to it. I've been quite good these 2 weeks about acquisitions. There was a pop-up shop. I think it's the same thing as a trunk show. We in Finland we say pop-up shop. By Lanitium Ex Machina and KVG, which I really want to believe means what I think it means. I tried to look it up at one point, but I couldn't actually quickly find anything, so then I just forgot about it. But yeah, they had a joint pop-up shop. So, oh, this is so beautiful. This is the KVG. Basically, if KVG means what I want to believe it means, it's a Finnish version of Go Ask Google, but the V is a swear word. So I won't say it, because there will be Finnish people watching, maybe with impressionable young people around. But this colorway is called Sour, and this is 100% Polworth superwash, and I've never used Polworth. That was probably the main reason I held on to this skein for dear life. I tried to look at other skeins that were Polworth wool, but I didn't see that many, or I'm not sure if I saw any other. There probably was more Polworth, but I couldn't find it, and the color is lovely. This is the fingering weight yarn, obviously. I'm not sure, obviously, but it is a fingering weight yarn. Feels really soft, and I'm quite sure this will be a cowl or a shawl, but I don't have a pattern in mind for now. But this was really, really beautiful. And then the Lanitium Ex Machina yarn. This was a beautiful yarn. First off, it's a glitter yarn, which I've never used before. I haven't had any glitter yarn because I'm not that much of a bling bling person. But this, first off, it's glitter yarn. It's really, really beautiful. And then I saw the name of the colorway, Andoril, which has to be a Tolkien reference. Should have looked it up, but I didn't. But I am fairly certain that it's a Tolkien reference. So yeah, it had to come home with me. This will also be a shawl. I think this is too nice to be socks. So this will be a shawl. I have kind of a faint idea what I might use it on. I think maybe I would try I'm completely blanking on the name of the technique. Seriously, I'll have to put it down here somewhere. Brioche, yes, thank you. Brioche shawl, I think, would be really nice. Kind of the other way would be maybe something like, maybe a navy would go well with this, or just a plain gray. I'm not sure if light or dark gray. But I think this would be really, really lovely brioche shawl with something gray in it. that would be lovely. Then I had another expedition to buying cross stitch or embroidery floss or thread, or what is it? And yeah, I actually, surprising, I had a feeling that I might have gold sparkle yarn, but I mentioned in my last episode of doing kind of a maybe notion pouches or small project bags with cross stitch details with the Harry Potter Hogwarts house crests. And for that, of course, I had to have metallic glitter yarn as an accent. Not I would be using basically. Let me dig around. But basically, with, for example, Slytherin, I would have the green and kind of the silver grey, but then there would be just a tiny bit of the metallic in the mix with the grey one, because basically it's said that it's green and silver, and then with Ravenclaw it's bronze, and with Gryffindor it's gold. So, but I haven't done any cross stitching, unsurprisingly, since I feel like I haven't done much else. So I'll have to see. Then just before I started recording, I put in my registration for Tour de Sock. I haven't ever participated in that before. I considered it last summer or last spring, but since I was either pregnant with Atte or I had just had him, I thought it might not be a good idea to kind of jump in with that, because since I had no idea what kind of a baby I would be having, if it was a fussy one or an easy one, if it was a colicky baby, reflux, anything. I had no idea, so I thought that I would just let myself off the hook and not even try. Of course, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I would have gotten the sock patterns. I wouldn't have had to compete at all. But wasn't really interested back then. But right now, the way Atte is at the moment, I think that I would actually get some knitting done during Tour de Sock. So yeah, why not? And I'm already in a team. It's a Finnish team with my sister-in-law and another knitter from, I think, the Tampere area. I love the name. It's called Sip Sip Knit. It's not Slip Slip Knit, it's Sip Sip Knit. Basically, I think they were referring to sipping maybe something with a little bit of an alcohol content in it. I won't be drinking alcohol since I'm still nursing, which is controversial, so we won't be talking about that anymore. But just the idea of being in a sunny park, which in Finland, good luck with that. In a sunny park, sipping iced tea and knitting is a lovely, lovely image. So why not? And the team isn't that much of a they're not that competitive, so even if I finish no pairs of socks, it will be fine. And since I'm only at about around 30 minutes mark, I think I'll have a break, wash my hands, take out some knitting, and talk about a few podcasts I've been watching. And also I have a few kind of dream crafting things I want to share with you, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, since I first mentioned a few podcasts I'm regularly watching, I've picked up some new ones, and I wanted to share them with you. Um, I feel like, well, I I'm, feel a bit guilty in admitting this, but I haven't watched a lot of Finnish knitting podcasts. But since I started doing this, I felt like it was kind of a duty to kind of check around what other Finnish podcasters are doing. So the few that I watched since then, and all of the ones that I've watched, I've liked, even though it is kind of funny to look at them and hear Finnish when I'm so used to hearing English with the podcasts I watch. But the first one was Rova Silmusolma, who has her own yarn shop in Sastamala, which is not that far away. I think it's maybe. I'm not good with distances. I don't have a driver's license. I don't drive a car, so I really don't know. I would think that Sastamala is maybe around an hour's drive away from Tampere city center, or Tampere in general. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But yeah, she has a yarn shop in Sastamala, and she also has an online shop, and they're both called Silmusolma. So that's how you can find that. And then I mentioned the two of these last time, but I've also watched Hanna's Neulokerppa podcast and also Johanna's Hippusia podcast. Johanna also has a blog, and the photographs that she has of her projects are just so beautiful, and she's so beautiful, and the projects are beautiful, and the photographs are beautiful, and I've been following her. I know Johanna in real life. I'm not sure I'd say we're friends. If anything, I think my husband and Johanna are friends. They are they they are they have, how would I say it? Basically, if you know what I mean by IRC chat, internet relay chat, what Irkkaa. My husband does it, and Johanna does it. I've done it, but not for many years anymore. I feel like maybe I should go have a look, but it's been years. Might not happen. But anyways, if you are familiar with the Hippukirja podcast, Hippusia podcasts, I think the blog is Hippusia, and her Instagram account is Hippusia. But I think the podcast was Hippukirja, if I'm not completely mistaken. But anyways, if you're familiar with her, if you've seen her talking about her cats, and especially about Jade. Jade was originally at our house. She was at our house for a month, and then our old lady cat didn't like having another lady cat in the house, unsurprisingly, but so we had to give her to someone else. And it always makes me so happy to see that Jade and Noah are so good together, that they're best friends, and it just makes me really happy that she finally found a good home for herself. Then there's 2 English podcasts. No, wait, there's actually 3. I forgot one. So 3 English speaking podcasts that I've been watching. They're all either British or podcasting from Britain. So I've been watching Stranded podcast by Amy. I think it was Amy Edwards Green. But yeah, she has her own yarn dyeing business, and her yarn is amazing. I haven't used it, but it looks really beautiful. And then there's the Crafty Corner podcast, which is a nice change in the fact that she is another one of kind of what I think of as my type. She's not purely a knitter. She knits, yes, but she also does crocheting, and she has really cute beaded stitch markers that she sells on her Etsy shop. And she seems like a sweet person as well. So does Amy from the Stranded podcast. And then there's also the Vero from Along the Lanes. I was thinking first about that Canadian girl, but that's her Instagram account. So it's Along the Lanes. The podcast is Along the Lanes, and her name is Vero. And she does quite many things as well by her Instagram account. So she's also not only a knitter. I don't mean that in a condescending way, because knitting is awesome, but I'm always kind of amazed at other people when I do it. It's kind of like, yeah, well, can't everyone do it? It's nothing special, right? And I genuinely feel that way. But when other people are gifted at so many things, Johanna from Hipposia is another one that I'm kind of, it's almost like it's not fair. You're good at this thing, and then you're good at that thing, and then you draw amazingly well, and then you're so pretty, and it's not fair, and you work in a yarn shop. Sometimes life is just not fair. But there you go. But anyway, Vero is also, she's taken up drawing as well, and I think her style of podcasting is really kind of different from everybody else. Not everybody else, but in comparison to other podcasts I watch, her style is different to those, and very fun. But yeah, those are the podcasts I've been binging on in the last month or so. Then the few kind of dream projects, which probably will come in the not so distant future. The first one is actually, that might jump before my Juniper Spider, which I talked about last time. But I think I have a sister who's 2 years older than me. I'm not sure why that's relevant, but there I said it. And she's graduating to be a nurse in I think it probably will be around September, October. So I promised her that I would be knitting her a sweater for a graduation gift. I didn't promise her that it would be done by her graduation, that I would be able to give it to her as the autumn approaches. I didn't promise her that it would be done by her graduation, but I did say that I would be doing it during this year, so before Christmas. So yeah, that will be coming up. I'm thinking that, I haven't decided on colors. I tried to ask her for kind of ideas of what she might like, and she was kind of open to just about anything. So I'll have to see what I come up with, but I'm a little bit worried on that, because since I'm doing the hem of this sweater, and it's only been it's really blowing out. It's only this amount of just the pure white. I feel like this is taking forever. So the bubbly sweater by Isabel Kramer, which I had promised to do for her, if I didn't say that already, it only has color work panel on the yoke, and otherwise it's just plain stocking stitch. But I think I'll have to start that as a sweater project after this one, so I have time to just kind of have it as TV knitting and just go round and round and round, and I can afford to put it down at times if I really kind of feel like I'm going insane with it. But yeah, that's one. Then the other one that I've been kind of dreaming about for a while now, but I have a yarn and it's beautiful, but the next shawl I'll be knitting is probably the banana leaf shawl by Yuki Ueda. And this is the yarn I'll be using for it. Oh, I could just sleep on this. This is Scrumptious Lace by Fiber States. The colorway is gold, and it's very true. Fiber content is 45% silk and 55% merino, and this is just can I just use it as a pillow, please? Oh, it's beautiful. I haven't bought the pattern yet, but this should be enough for the shawl. If not, then I just might have to buy some more yarn. Oh, how sad. Woe is me. How sad. I might have to get more of this. I bought this at Snorre, which is a yarn shop in Helsinki. We were there in, I think it was March, with our knitting club, which sounds more involved than it is. It's basically just me and my husband's female relatives, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-laws, my husband's aunt, and then my husband's uncle's wife. We live in different one of my sisters-in-law lives in Tampere, but the others don't. So it's not like we get together and knit together and talk shop, and it's not like that. It would be lovely if it was, but since we live in very, very kind of different, well, not very different, I think The longest distance is probably maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours drive in between, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still not something that we can just kind of get together every week and just knit away and gossip. And we do see each other. They're so lovely, but yeah, it's not that kind of a knitting club. So we had a kind of a field trip, as we do sometimes. Maybe I think that was just about the third field trip we had. The first one was to Tallinna a few years ago. Then we had one meeting here in Tampere, and then we had one in Helsinki. So yeah. And then for some reason I also kind of want to start trying my hand at crocheting toys. I don't actually have that many people, kind of small kids who might want toys, but I want them. So might not be that long till I have a go at that, but no specific pattern in mind for now, except for a few really cute unicorn patterns, but I'll have to see. I'll have to see what I get up to. I do have a godson who's 3.5 years old, so plushies might be a good kind of gift for him. I'll just have to ask his mum what he might like as a gift. Not impossible, not a bad idea, but I'll have to see. I tend to kind of think I have more time to do things than I actually get. Things happen, I don't get them done in a timely fashion, so we'll see. But yeah, that was just about all I had for you this time. One thing is, since I've been really kind of lazy and low energy for the last 2 weeks, I haven't even shared the last episode on the Finnish Knitting Podcasts group in Ravelry. I haven't answered the one comment I had on last episode. It was basically just a positive feedback that it was a good episode, so thank you for that. I love to hear that, of course, but yeah, I haven't updated my Instagram account, and since I haven't posted this anyway, I haven't had any feedback on the sound. I did kind of look around on an online shop about the microphones, and I probably will be buying a reasonably priced. Seemed it had good reviews, so I might be purchasing a microphone anyway, because I think that when I edited the last video, the sound was better overall, but then there was some slight glitches that I wasn't happy about. They kind of bothered me, even if they don't bother anyone else that much. So yeah, I might be investing a reasonable amount of money for that, and hopefully maybe next week the sound will be what it should be, but it should have been all along. But since this is only the 4th episode, I kind of hope that you'll be patient, and yeah, I will improve. Steady improvement, I hope. But yeah, that's all I have for you this time. I will hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming back if you did. If you're a first time viewer, thank you for checking me out. Hope I'll see you again. consider subscribing, consider hitting like on YouTube. And until I see you next time, happy crafting. Bye!